Okay, you guys, hold on. I am trying this again. Give me a second, you guys. You're watching Allison. I need to get you on. Hold on. Allison, you see any buttons that you can bring? Allison, do you see it? I'm trying to bring you on. You guys bear with me. Yes. Oh. Okay, Allison is coming on, you guys. We're going to try to do this.
Can you see it?
Woo,
Oh
boy.
my God.
Okay, y'all. I am so sorry. It took us forever, but we finally got it done. I have
Hold on.
Allison Daniels here with us today, tonight. And this woman, go back the other way. You
Go back the other
tripping.
way. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I got you now. Look at you. Oh my God. You guys, we're going to take it up where we just left off. This is Allison Daniels. Allison has written 31 books. And the most recent one that has got me all over it, I actually bought two of them, is what was the name of that? Let It Go?
Life goes on.
Life goes on, which means the same thing. Let it go. Life goes
Yes.
on. So she's here today because she's been telling her daughters, her oldest daughter, about some dating rules.
Yes.
And when we were on the WBGR show the other week, I said we need that list. You need to talk to us about that list. So we have her here. Let's listen to her. You heard me for 45 minutes, and we're gonna let Allison talk to us about dating and how we need to do it right, you guys. All
Yes.
righty, Allison, take it over. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I was kind of thinking about, okay, the questions that I sent you, I was going to go over those because what we fail to realize is that there is a process to dating. And sometimes we jump ahead before we really take the time to learn that person. And so one of the questions I kind of asked, what are some of the things that you like? What do you like to do? Because you may find out that the things that that person like to do you don't like to do, and vice versa. But we don't take the time to learn a person. We're rushing the process.
Yes.
You start falling in love and that person is still lacking or laid in the background. You're wondering why they didn't catch up with you. Well, you rush the process of dating.
So why do you think we rush the process? I think it's loneliness where women are just so eager to go to the next level because they don't want to be by themselves. What do you think it is?
It really depends because you could be at a different place in your life. You could just be coming out of a divorce, you could
Yeah.
just be coming out of a relationship, and therefore you're kind of vulnerable. So you're kind of like moving really quickly instead of taking that time to learn yourself, to know what it is you like and don't like. But because you're in that place of, you know, why did this happen to me? And woe, it's me, you missed the signs and the flags that were already up, but you missed them because you were in another place.
Right. So what can we do as daters to slow our rolls and take one step at a time and not be so eager? What do you recommend we do?
One of the things I do recommend, and I think I said this on the show, is
Mm-hmm.
get to know yourself. Go
Yes.
back to that happy place in
Yeah.
your life and get to know who you are. Because once you become um, pleased and happy with yourself, you're not going to accept someone else to come in and disrupt your spirit, or someone else to come in and throw out negative words if you've been talking and speaking life-changing words over yourself. So once you get to learn yourself, there are a lot of things you're not going to accept.
Right. That is
Mhm.
so true. And as we talked about last week on WBGR, um, we need to be prepared
Yes.
within ourselves so that we know those flags, so we recognize those flags. If we're not prepared, we'll be going around in vicious cycles over and over again. Same old, same old.
Mhm.
It never ends. And then the woe is me on top of it
Yes.
because we haven't learned anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Another thing is take evaluation of yourself. Like, like once you come off the date, kind of figure out, what it is I didn't do or didn't say. Because sometimes there are questions that person has asked, but you're over talking that person and you miss exactly what they were saying. Because sometimes people will talk themselves up and you won't even realize that they have already told you what their plan is for what they want to do. But because you're constantly talking and not being a listener, you miss the important things that you need to know in dating.
Right. So we need to be very careful. We need to be more intuitive. We need to be thinking,
Yes.
and we need to be so, I think we also need to be so not so eager to impress and be
Yes.
more of ourselves
Yes.
than trying to impress, and be more than we really are, because I think at some point, like I said earlier, you lose that person because it wasn't you in the first place.
Mhm.
And then the person that you got hooked up with, they're like, what happened to you? You've
Yes.
changed. No,
Yes.
you become yourself, because that's who, this is the real you. And we lose it when we do that. We lose
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So what other pointers you want to give us, because I know you
Now,
have many.
now I know you talked about one of the questions that I mentioned was, I don't believe that you should have the person that you're dating. I don't believe, if you're a single woman, I don't believe that they should meet your children,
Right.
right? Like the next day or that same day. I mean,
Yes.
wait 6 months, wait a year. I mean, maybe they'll have to run into your child at one point or another, but I just don't believe that we should have our children meet this person and that person.
I
allow
agree.
them Allow yourself time to know that person. And one thing, when I was dating, you didn't know my daughter's name, you didn't know what school my daughter went to, you
Right.
honestly really didn't even know that I had a daughter, because I kept that in the background.
Yeah.
Sometimes we tell too much,
Right.
and we over talk, and next thing you know, we've told everything to
Yes.
that person, and now those doors are open, when
Right.
you should have never opened that door, because there's a process and it just takes time in dating. I
So
just don't rush it.
so why do women tell so much of themselves and men just hold it in, they just receive it. They're like, okay. Why do we feel so compelled to just put it all out there? Even tell how we've been victimized. Why do we do that?
This is a different generation, because I grew up where, you know, you just don't tell everything.
Right.
So, and there are things that, you'll take to your grave. But this generation, they're in that microwave, I guess, type of
Yeah.
era where they're telling everything, they're spilling everything out. So if you do that on a first date, what do you have to say on the second date? You're out of trying to tell him who you are.
Right.
So don't share everything.
Mm-hmm.
Slow it up. Listen
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. Take heed to what they're saying. Watch their eyes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if a person is always, kind of looking to the side and everything, try to figure out what they're looking at. You don't have to be all on the defense, but
Right.
you kind of figure out some of the body language that's going on. Body language will tell you too.
Right.
Oh, and we miss those signs because we wanna fall in love. I used to hear all the time, "You're 30 years old and you're not married yet. You're 31 years
Mm-hmm.
old and you're not married yet." I said, God hasn't sent the right person to me.
Right.
You know, be
Exactly.
at peace with that. Don't allow someone to rush you just to get married,
Mm-hmm.
just to get divorced.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
yeah.
So, what do you think? How do you think? What advice could you give women to slow their roll down, to not be so personable, where they can get it, where they can understand that, okay, I got to do something different because she's right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can you give us an example of how that's not going to work, to actually go out and meet somebody and put it all out there, drive the man insane because he hadn't got a word in, she's still telling him all the things that's happened to her,
Mm-hmm.
and he's over there about to fall asleep, not realizing she has given him her whole story,
Yes.
and should have been publishing it, but now she's telling him.
Mm-hmm.
And what can we tell these people, these young women, particularly the young women, that's not the way to date?
Mm-hmm.
And then not to bring them home on that first date as well.
You know, I always have to, use my daughter because she's older.
Uh-huh.
One thing I try to tell her is, first of all, when you go out, first of all, I have all the information of the guy before she leaves out. I have the tag number, da 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 da.
Right, right,
She, when she meets, let's say she meets the person at some restaurant, da 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 da. When he pulls up, I automatically have everything.
right.
So I
And
know the make of your car, I know your name, da 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 da. I also tell her, like you said, don't get into that drinking.
right.
So you can have a clear head.
So
If
he
you
won't
can't,
put anything in that drink,
right,
and something happens. Exactly.
right. Don't get into the drinking. Make sure you ask questions like, again, I always try to go back to the basics. What is it that you like? Why do you
Right,
like that? And when I say what is it that you like, I mean like, what are your hobbies? What do
right,
you like
exactly.
to do?
What are your hobbies?
Right. What are some of the things that you grew up doing that you
Exa-
enjoy now? You can ask basic questions. Like you know, do you have any siblings? Sometimes they don't want to be, men are kind of funny about asking questions or
right,
answering questions
right,
rather. But I believe if you start asking questions and just, like, so how long you been married? If they talk about marriage, you know, ask the basic questions. How long have you been married? Because he may tell you, I'm married and I'm divorced. Well, how long?
right.
Because where does that, you don't want to really get into where does that person live, but are you still friends with that person?
Hmm,
Because that
hmm.
makes a difference. Because if that was a harsh breakup, then you want to make sure that nothing is going to come up on you. If
Exactly.
it was a good breakup, I don't believe divorce is a good breakup, but if it was a good breakup where they're still talking and communicating, that
Absolutely.
makes a difference. Ask your basic questions. You
Right.
don't go so deep, but you need to be able to ask questions where you're comfortable with that
Hmm.
person. And so, and I just think the younger generation, it's like, I don't know, I like this guy, he likes me. I'm going to go over to his friend's house. I'm going to go over to this person's house. Stay out of the houses.
Yes, I
Stay out
agree.
of the houses. I mean, I tell my daughter all the time, meet in a nice lit place
Yes.
and have some conversations going on. Talk for maybe 5 6 months, because
Hmm.
you may find out in the 6th month that you really don't like him,
That's
or he
right.
really doesn't like you. because
Absolutely.
it's not too, they can't hold up that long with the hi, how are you, and
You're
open the door.
right.
It's not going to be able to last that long. The true you and the true him or her is going to come out, but
Absolutely.
you'll never see it if you rush the process in dating.
I agree. I agree. We have someone on tonight, Delmar. Thank you, Delmar. Says you can't give it all up for the reasons it may not work out. Get in a
Yes.
few dates and be comfortable. And
Yes.
I agree with you. Steve Harvey says wait 3 months because
Mm-hmm.
within that time frame, you'll know whether or not the person is worthy of your time and vice versa. But
Yes.
I say go longer than that because
Too.
people now are skilled. They're seasoned
Hmm.
in playing games.
Yes.
And they could go as long as 6, 7 months and sometimes a year. Just take your time
Yeah.
and not be so eager to fall for somebody because they're watching you and they can see the eagerness and they're going to
Yeah.
take advantage of it and they
Mm-hmm.
can exploit your eagerness as well.
Yes. Because sometimes women tend to throw in, one day I hope to be married, one day
Yeah.
I hope to have kids.
Yes.
Automatically the guy goes,
I
man,
didn't sign up for all of
like,
this.
you're the type of woman that I would like to marry. Bam, you have
Right.
gone on to your feelings
That's
and
right.
passed on,
That is
because you've already told him what you're looking for,
that's
instead of
right.
keeping that to yourself.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I find, that they just don't know how to just keep things to themselves for a little while.
Mhm.
See
Mhm.
where that person is coming from.
Yes. And we haven't taught our girls to be that way. And I think it goes so far back where our girls are verbal and our men are not verbal.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're just going to talk. And the men are going to take all that in and use
Yes.
it to their advantage or their disadvantage. They
Yes.
just use it. And women need to understand that. They really do when they're out there dating.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Definitely.
So what else you want us to look out for?
Another question you could ask is, are you dating someone at this moment? See
Mm-hmm.
how, that's just like straight to the point. Are you
Yes.
dating someone at this moment? Then that person may say, no, I'm not. Well, then when was the last time that you dated? Don't let your questions just end. You
Right.
can sit there and, talk, but don't just let your questions end, or you didn't get the answer that you wanted or needed, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can move to that next phase. And a lot of times we don't ask the basic questions.
I think a lot of times we don't because we're afraid we will run them away and
Mm-hmm.
we get apprehensive and if they show any body language of he's mad at me now, um we back off.
Yes.
And so what you're saying is keep going, keep asking questions, be a little more persistent.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to be so harsh. Make it
Right.
where there's, just general conversation where you're asking a question, he's
Mm-hmm.
asking a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, be able to just say, I have a question. Now, you may not do all of this on a first date,
Mm-hmm.
but at least be able to feel comfortable enough to ask questions.
Good. That's a
Because
good point.
think of this: if the person drives up and their car has Tracy 2, then you need to find out who's Tracy 2, because you don't want to be sitting in a restaurant and
Right.
Tracy number 2 comes.
That's right. That's
Those
a
are
good point.
like, but that's not a, oh, maybe I'll ask him 3 to 4 months later. Why?
Right.
He the one pulled up in the car. I'm just going
Right.
to question for my safety.
Yes. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
And we have a tendency to put that in the back burner
right.
and not ask and do just what you said. I'll ask him that the next time. May not
Yeah,
even be no next time when she roll up in there. You
Right.
know, I agree with you. I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what do you recommend for now the young heads may not know any better. What about those in their 50s and 60s who are out there dating? What do you recommend for my age group?
Well, see, our age group, I mean,
Hmm.
I believe we're talkers. We're going to
Okay.
ask questions.
Yes.
You should be asking questions. You're old enough to know that, listen, if he comes over and he comes over Monday and Tuesday, but then you don't see him Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, but then he comes over Saturday, you need to be writing some things down saying, wait a minute, something's not right. And vice versa with her, because it's not just the men.
Right.
If you got to start watching the patterns, and again, like you had said earlier, money, if they start asking you for money, those are telltale signs.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
certain things when you're in your 50s that you should have already learned in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, that you shouldn't be going through the same thing again.
Right.
And if you are, you need to sit back, evaluate yourself. Don't date right now. Sit back,
Hmm.
evaluate yourself so that you can try and figure out between each person, and pray prayerfully, it's not a lot, but between each person, write a chart down.
Hmm.
Like what I want to say, it's almost like a table,
Right. Right.
and you just have, like, let's say John, Jim, and Harry, and then you just write things down. Then
Hmm.
you can kind of scratch out, like, he's not worth it, this one isn't, and then you can kind of figure out who should you really focus in on.
Hmm.
Because at age 50, I mean 50 and 60, you should be writing some things down. You should be asking questions. There's no reason why you shouldn't ask questions. And then you should be wise enough to be able to discern that something doesn't sound right, something doesn't add up.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't, I mean, I just don't think at 40 and 50 years old, you should be caught off guard because you're like, well, I didn't know he was married. How come you didn't? You didn't see him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I mean,
Right.
certain things that you should be picking up that you're not picking up.
Right. So what you're saying is more than likely at our age group, people, women and men are not accepting reality.
Yes.
They're still in fantasy land, or they're not accepting what they see.
Mm-hmm.
They're just dealing with what they want to see.
Right. Right.
And I believe that comes from being fearful that
Yes.
they're going to go away and you want them around.
And
Because in
sometimes you
our
haven't
age
dealt
group,
with that hurt.
pardon?
Sometimes you haven't dealt with that hurt or that breakup.
Yes, I agree. I
Yes.
agree. We haven't dealt with the hurt. So we're still, hello there, Justin. So we're not dealing with the pain,
Mm-hmm.
but we're out there dating
Right.
and not dealing with the things that have gone on in our lives. We are
Mm-hmm.
definitely in a tornado. It's just going to keep sweeping by, pulling us in, and
Almost
we're
a cycle that you
yes,
just keep on around. And
yes,
it's get off that cycle and figure out what went wrong and what were the things that I could have did better, and vice versa with that person. But if you don't do that, you're going to continue to go around in that circle and in that circle. And I share with you that when I was 33 years old, I
hmm,
decided to stop dating, period. I did
right,
not date. And so when I met my husband, it was like unbelievable that I wasn't dating or I didn't have anyone. I did that
hmm,
because I needed to know who Allison was and what was it that I liked. So when my
right,
husband came along, it was like perfect timing because I knew exactly what I was looking for. So evidently, you have to learn through those years, what is it, because sometimes you could be, like you said too, that common denominator,
right,
you
right.
know and you don't ever get it fixed, or you don't ever kind of key in on what were the reasons for the breakup. With me, down through the years, I have this mouth on me. So,
Mm-hmm.
you say something, I say something, and, to me, everything goes my way.
Right.
Those
Exactly.
are my younger growing years,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I also made sure that I asked those basic questions. And, if you didn't answer the questions the way that I thought or felt that you should answer them, I
Mm-hmm.
automatically, forgive me for saying it like this, but I automatically dismiss you.
Got
You're
it.
So I didn't put up with a lot of drama or a lot of negative things. I
Right.
automatically released that from me.
Okay, that's
So
good.
I just did a lot of dating, because immediately, I believe immediately when the young man stepped to me, I think it was my facial expression. I think it was when I, asked you a question or two and you
Right.
couldn't answer it. That's just that.
Right.
And we have to be at peace with that's just that.
That's just that. We need to be at peace with that's just that. Instead of keeping it going
Yes.
when you know it's not even there. It's
Right.
nothing to keep going.
Right.
But we are so in my age group, I'm meeting those that have been so broken and so lonely that
Mm-hmm.
their focus is I'm gonna keep going till I get it. I'm gonna keep going till I get it. I'm gonna keep going till I get it. Um,
So you see that cycle.
yes.
Yeah. That
And
that's
that
the
cycle has to
habit.
be broken. They have to have an alone period to be
Yes.
cleansed and
Mm-hmm.
to work on themselves so that
Yes.
they'll be ready. And
Mm-hmm.
then they won't be going in those vicious cycles over and over again.
Exactly.
And then they'll meet someone that respects them and
Yes.
loves them for who they are.
Yes.
Wow. How can we get everybody to understand this concept?
Mm-hmm.
It's really simple. But why do
It's
we
just
have to go through so much to get there?
it's just you kind of going back. I always say back to that happy place. It
Mm-hmm.
takes you going back to what is it that made you the person that you are, because
Right.
there's a reason why you're you came from one point to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So in
Okay.
between, there were some things that made you who you are, that built you up. And now
Mhm.
you have to kind of grow
Okay.
and let things go. And my book is Life Goes On.
Right.
Life goes on. Let some things go. Some things have happened, some things have taken place in your life.
Right.
Once you learn how to let them go and release them from you, you'll start feeling better about yourself. You'll start feeling more confident, even when you're dating, because you'll
Yeah.
start feeling so confident that here are my three questions. And if he doesn't answer it, that's it,
Right.
because you'll start feeling confident that you can do this on your own until that right person comes. But sometimes
Absolutely.
people keep going in that same circle.
Mm-hmm. And they're fearful of
Yeah.
asking those questions because they
Yeah.
want that person to come back or not leave.
Yes.
Um, what do you think? What would you like to say to the men who also have issues with dating women? What would you like to say to them? And remember the nice guy. We got to factor him in too.
But you know what I say for the nice guy, and my husband, I believe, is a nice guy. I married him.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But for the nice guy, I just believe that you don't have to change who you are. There's still
Right.
a young lady out there that will accept you for who you are. Sometimes it may
Right.
take a little bit longer because the bad boys kind of jump out there, and they have a couple of things going on. But what they don't
Hmm.
realize is that the good guys have that special touch, that special word that makes you feel important, and it. I believe
Right.
I don't have anything against the what do you call them, the bad guys, da 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 da. I have nothing
Right.
against
Right.
them, but you got to learn their agenda. And sometimes we don't
Right.
know their agenda as to why they're entering into your life. And so with the good guys, we already know when they come in, they're coming incorrect, because their
Yeah.
mom raised them, their dad helped raise them. So the good guys already know how to treat a woman. They already know how to open the door. And I'm not saying that the other young men don't know how to do that, but we also
Right.
have to look at their agenda, because there's a
Yeah.
certain time and place for everything. Because you can have a guy that's, I guess, a bad boy, da 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 da, and he still knows how to do everything right, but he doesn't do it because you haven't laid down a foundation of how you would like to be treated. Because
Right.
treat you, men are going to treat you the way that you treat yourself. If you don't stand, I stand at the door and my husband opens the door.
Right.
So before I walk in, I just stand there. If he's forgetting, he's talking and he's on his phone, I just stand there.
Right.
And the way that, you know, I don't want to say train them, but we let them know I am a lady, I am a queen.
Yes.
This is the way that I would like to be treated. And
Right.
so to the good guys, don't give up. I really believe that there's somebody out there for you, because that's the way I felt at 33. I felt like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do, because there were no there was no one. There was, I guess, someone always wanted something from me, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
pulling, and so I really, in my lifetime, I really had to shut things down because I was just being pulled. And
Wow.
when you find that you're just being pulled like that, you really need to just shut things down and try and figure out what's going on in your life.
Yes.
And I believe that with the good guys, don't give up.
Don't
There's
give
definitely
up.
good women out there.
Did y'all
And
hear that, good guys? Emmanuel. Emmanuel says you are still a rose in spite of everything.
amen.
Yes,
Amen.
Emmanuel, you hear that? Don't give up. He's one of our good guys on tonight.
Hmm.
We I treasure those good guys
Yes.
because I've realized in this in my that they're the ones that are sincere. They're the
Yes.
ones that's gonna be there for the long haul. Those the bad guys are not. They're not gonna be there for the long haul. And the one that makes them fall to their knees is the one that stands up to them, the
Mhm.
one who is the most confident, the
Yes.
one who does not accept all of their junk that they give.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that they say, oh, wow, I need to change because this woman's about to leave me. But
Exactly.
as long as you succumb to them and
Mm.
their bad behavior, they will
Yeah.
remain bad behavior.
Right. Yeah.
And those good guys that are often overlooked, ladies, I'm here to tell you, those are the ones that you need to treasure because they will always treasure you. You
Yes.
don't have to worry about them cheating because
Mm.
they're the ones that respect you so much that they respect themselves and wouldn't want to
Yeah.
hurt you.
Exactly.
And for some reason I'm noticing women are hurting the good guys. And I
Yes.
don't understand that. I don't understand that.
I think that, you know what? I think they're hurting the good guys because they're hurting. And so they don't know
Okay.
how to treat someone good that comes in their life. Because if no one ever taught you how to treat a good guy,
That's
and
true.
no one ever taught you how a real man is supposed to treat you, you're not going to recognize when a good guy comes in. You're going to look like, well, maybe he's a
That's
you
so true.
I don't want to say a weasel, but maybe he's a pushover, da 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 da. No,
Right.
he's actually a man. He's
He's a
actually
man.
doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
It's just that you didn't get the memo that this is how it's done, or this is
Yes.
supposed to be done. And it's up to us to train our daughters. Like I told you, I have a 28-year-old. I just tell her, listen, these are the questions you should be asking, things
Right.
that you should know when you go out on a date. Stay out of the houses,
Right.
stay out of the dark rooms in the club where
That's
nobody
right. That's
you,
right.
you
That's
know,
so
and
true.
take your pocketbook with you. Don't just leave your cell phone. I
Yeah.
never understood a friend of mine leaving a cell phone and going to the ladies' room. Well, if you don't have that password protection, or you
Right.
don't have something where it shuts down when you leave, then they're right there looking at it. You know?
Exactly.
So, I mean, all of that should be taken into consideration.
Yes. So our guards should never be down.
No,
Our
no.
guards should never be
I
down
don't
while we're
think
dating.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
your
agree with you.
antenna should always be up no
Yeah.
matter. And one of the judges always says that she says, look deep before you leap. And sometimes we don't look deep enough and we just take
Mhm.
that leap. And all of a sudden we're down. I don't want to say in a ditch, but we're down in the ditch because we did not do, I don't want to say research, like we're
Right.
researching a paper, but we didn't
Right.
like the person. And we went
Right.
deeper into it. And then we leaped over. And now all of a sudden we're looking for someone to kind of pull us up or pull us out, when all we had to do was just ask certain basic questions just to find out what's going on in that person's life and vice versa in your life.
Exactly. And I don't know why we won't do that. It's just driving me crazy. I have friends in my age group who are not doing that. And I have others that won't leave the house because they're so mad at the world
Mm-hmm.
that they're not going out there. They're not venturing out there again. So they're probably going to just be alone for the rest of their lives because they have made themselves content in
Yes.
that. And my heart goes out to everybody
Mm-hmm.
because you got one side that won't go out, then you got the other side that is so afraid of being lonely. They're
Mm-hmm.
up for grabs and they're doing their
Yes.
best to impress. um
Yes.
but that impressing one guy turns into maybe 10 guys because they're that
Yes.
pressed to find somebody and find somebody quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
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 And the men, um I believe is so at this it is it's so I always thought at this age we should all be married and be happy because we've gotten past all the issues.
Huh?
We've become seasoned lovers in a
Yes.
relationship, and it just didn't turn out that way. So you got all these single people out here um having a hard time, and they don't know
Yeah.
what to do and where to go and how to make a connection. And I think we could have more segments on dating to help people
Yes.
to get past their pain and
Mm-hmm.
to go back out there.
And
And
to get
because,
stuck.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us in this age group are stuck. We don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and then this online dating is frightening
Yeah.
because there are a
I'm
lot of people on
comfortable
here
with
who
it.
just one thing, just get money from women,
Yeah.
or women get money from men. It
Yes.
goes both
Yeah.
ways.
It does. It really does.
Mhm.
It does. Another thing is, when you're stuck, it's hard for you to come up out of that place. But
Mhm.
you have to kind of find, that reason for you to kind of want to breathe again or live again and come out of,
Yes.
stuck place,
Yes.
because that's not a place that God ever wanted you to be, because he created everyone for someone.
Yes.
It's just that we have to get out there and be in the right places. Like what I did was I joined clubs, not I joined like social clubs. Like I joined
Uh-huh.
uh, National Council of Negro Women. I joined gosh, a writing group. I just
Okay.
joined different things. Like I did a Toastmasters for a while. So
Awesome.
things that you can do, that you can meet other people
Yes.
instead of being in the clubs, instead of rushing the process. But if you just go out and get
Mhm.
into something and start that moving again, you
Mhm.
know, I
Mhm.
believe, you'll find someone. But staying in the house and not
Mm-mm.
getting out, that's that's truly, to me, unhealthy for you, because
It is.
you're probably not really moving around as much. You're probably
Right.
limited to one bedroom, maybe two, go
Right.
something, eat, and come back. So I
Yeah.
believe if we start getting into some good social clubs, and
Mhm.
I love traveling. Go
Right.
travel around, join groups that like to travel, but staying stuck in a house, or just being stuck
It's
after you
just
come out of
it
a relationship.
It's just not healthy.
No, it's not
And
healthy.
and I believe when you're stuck and then you decide to go out there and date, you're still stuck because you have not released all that pain and
Yes.
and forgiven so that you can move on and be happy. It's
Mhm.
like, and I like to express brokenness begets brokenness. If
Yes.
you're out there and you're broke down, you're going to meet another broke down person, and
Mhm.
then when you hook up, it's going to be a nightmare because you got
Yeah.
two broken people trying to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
only if that woman or that man took the time to heal, things
Yeah.
would have been a lot better. Because I believe if you're good, you're
Hmm.
gonna attract goodness. At some
Yes.
point in your life, there will be a connection,
Yes. It's
and you
certain.
don't give up. And you
Hmm.
don't give up until you don't get mad because the first date didn't work out, and then you just
Right.
call it in and go home and sulk, and next thing you know, it's 10 years. And you have
Yes.
not been out there to meet anybody. I
No.
know a lot of women that are like that, that they've just shut down. They've just shut down. Husband
But
remarried, children are
mhm.
grown, and they're
Yeah.
just in the house.
Yes.
Yes, and the children got close to the stepmom, and they just sulk even more. They just sulk even more. To me,
Yeah. Or
if an ex husband marries and the children love my children, that's another house for them to receive love. I'm
yeah.
okay with that, but
Yes.
we have to get there and get over that pain of our husband being with a new wife. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and I don't know why we can't get beyond that because we're stuck if we don't.
Hmm.
We're
I don't
stuck.
think we can get beyond it because we're thinking about ourselves. But if we think
Okay.
about children, when you're in a marriage and you're coming out of a divorce, and let's say that the spouse decides to marry someone else, as long as
Right.
that person is treating your child right and there's no
Yeah.
problem, and you and your ex can communicate, um you should be at peace with that. You really should be happy
I
that,
agree.
oh, God found favor to have someone else in your life that can help you, or
Yes.
help, with your children and not hurt them. And
I
sometimes
agree.
you get stuck like, oh, he moved on. Why did he move on? Well, if you get my book called Life Goes On, you
Right.
understand that no matter what we go through in life, you
Yeah.
have to keep telling yourself, life goes on. I'm going to live again. Life
It
goes on.
does.
To keep moving. And
Yes.
you can't, I mean, if you really think about it, you have relationship after relationship after relationship. But if you don't take time in between to heal, you're just bringing that baggage on with you. And you heard of that song, Bag Lady,
Yes.
all the
Hmm.
words, but he just
Hmm.
carried all of
I
those.
know it. Bag lady. All that trash is on their back. And they
Yeah,
just carrying it. And then
yes,
they go to the next person. They got that baggage. And the
yes,
next thing you know, they're just smothered in
yes,
other people's garbage
yes.
because they haven't let it go.
They haven't released it. No.
Yes.
And if they
Yeah.
learn how to release it as you go on, like I mean, I guess I'm kind of programmed differently, not saying that my feelings don't get hurt, but when my
Right.
feelings get hurt, I release it quickly and I
Yeah.
don't take root. See, what happens is when we're in a relationship and things don't work out, then we kind of start blaming ourselves and we look internally, and then we kind of hold on to that. I kind of evaluate, and then I release it. Life
Mhm.
goes on, it's gone. You know,
Yes.
maybe that person was only meant to be in your life for a season. And we
Right.
get caught up that they're supposed to have, been with us for years. And I
Right.
kind of, take it as, okay, well, they were only meant to be here a year. They were only meant to be here 2 years. We
Right.
have to know that and be at peace with that. If you're not at peace with yourself, anything that goes on in the world is going to bother you.
Wow. That's deep.
Hmm.
If you're not if peace with yourself,
Yeah.
anything that goes on in the world is going to bother you.
Yeah.
So we have to be at peace with ourselves. We
Yeah.
have to be at peace with ourselves. And
Yeah.
how do you So what you're saying is when you have those clouded thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
you replace them with positive.
With positive. With
Okay.
positive. You
Yes.
know, one thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is, first of all, I read my Bible and pray.
Okay.
But if I'm going out the door and going down the steps, I have signs. You're
Mhm.
beautiful. Today is going to be a blessed day. And I
Mhm.
keep going on down the steps. I'm covered. You
Yes.
know, um, what is it? God's mercy kept me. Let us pray.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord. God grant us traveling mercies. This is things that I have over, in my room, when I go downstairs, when I go into the ladies' room. I just have signs that I'm always looking at. When I get in my car, Lord, cover me, cover the daughter that you made, cover the queen as I enter out. We have to start speaking life changing words to ourselves. Once we start speaking it out, it just comes back in.
It
So that's
comes back in. So
release.
you have these affirmations. I do too.
Yes,
So we're recommending tonight, everybody, that you have these affirmations all
yes,
throughout your home.
yeah.
So when those clouded thoughts come
Mm-hmm.
into your mind, you can
Yes,
immediately replace them with something positive,
yes,
because you are going to get negativity in your mind. That's just life.
yes,
But you need to learn how to replace it with the
yes,
positive,
yes,
because that's how you can get what you want out of life. You can
yes.
even acquire your dreams if
Mm-hmm.
you get rid of all that negativity and
Yes,
all the pain that's uh, all embedded inside. Just just release it. And I
yes,
believe it can be done too, Allison, if we
yes,
make a habit of, as soon as we get them, replace
yes,
them. As
yes.
soon as we get them,
Yep.
replace them.
Put it into I don't want to say a box, but start putting things into um. Let me. I'll say compartment. Like if someone says to me, um, you know, I didn't like what you said to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put that over here. Okay, that goes in that box. If
Right.
someone says to me, I really don't think we should be friends anymore. Okay, I'll put that in that box. I don't let it um get into my spirit. I don't let it gain root, or I don't let it dwell there. Immediately when you say something to me that doesn't agree with me or with my spirit or with my walk, I immediately dismiss it. So I'm so at peace that if you say something to me, I'm not saying that I don't get bothered and I don't get, things don't bother me, but
Mm-hmm.
try my best to daily dismiss it, let it go, because I'm not going to go out of here because I'm stressed out, because I'm worried, because I'm trying to figure out who likes me or who doesn't like me. I'm at a place in my life, I'm so at peace. If you decide you don't want to be in this circle, if you decide that you don't want to be on Allison's page, I'm so at peace. Life goes on. Let's just move on. Let's move on. And you have to learn how to just say, life goes on. Let's just move on. That person wasn't a part of my journey. That person wasn't a part of my destiny. Turn the page, turn the channel, and just move on.
Turn the channel. And that's what we need to focus on doing more, is turning
Yeah,
the channel, not forcing it to stay on that channel when it's
right.
already closure. Don't stay on that chapter if it's time to move to another
Yes,
chapter.
yes. And
Wow.
and, and the station has ended. That's
Yes.
over, but you're still holding on to that channel.
Yes.
Just move on. Life goes on. You don't
Yes.
have to hold on to it. But I believe the only reason why people really start holding on to things is
Mm-hmm.
because they're afraid that if that person leaves, they don't know what they're going to do. You should
Right.
always have an A plan. You should always have a B plan. You should always be thinking, you don't want to get into what if this happened, what if that happened, but have a plan set up that, what, if he or she walks out of my life, I still can make it. Life goes on. You should have a little piece of yourself still left, that if that person decides that they want to walk away, you can say, thank you for the time that we've shared. Carol Burnett used to say, I'm so glad we had this time together. And
Yes.
move
Yes.
on. Just move on.
And move on.
some things off because, you know, I'm talking to God all the time. So I kind of laugh some things off like that person wasn't a part of my destiny.
Right.
Even though I wanted them to be, I
yeah.
really wanted them to be deep down in my heart. But when they walked away, I learned how to let it go quickly and
Right.
I don't hold on to it. You know, so a lot of times in my journey, as I'm meeting people day by day, and I especially get it from women,
Mm-hmm.
before they even know who I am, they've turned their back on me and
Yeah.
don't know anything about me, but they've heard something. So I've
Right.
learned to release that. And then all of a sudden you have to come and ask me a question. So I have to turn that page and say, I have to answer this question
Mm-hmm.
because my journey is not about me. It's about me helping someone else.
Right.
You know, and sometimes women are at a place. That's why I don't take it personal with women,
Mm-hmm.
because it depends on where they are in their lives and things are going on. And, you know, if they walk past and they didn't say anything, I just chalk it up as, you know what, God bless them. Something's going on. You know, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that they have to speak, but, you know, sometimes women are more emotional.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of like not take it personal. And I think women take it personal if another woman says something. I don't take it personal. It's over with. I mean, immediately when you said it, whoop, I flipped it out, you know, because I'm not going to let it gain root. And believe it or not, if it gains root, it almost destroys you because you're often thinking about it. She doesn't like me. She said this. She said so. You're often thinking about it, and it's taking root. I don't allow anything to take root, and
Wow.
it hurt me a lot because I've had some good friends. I mean, some good girlfriends
Right.
that, you know, I shared a tear over, but it didn't take root.
Got it. So you're not letting things internalize. You're not
Yes.
internalizing
No.
uncomfortable relationships anymore. You released it. You quickly release it.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Well, I
is
was doing it in
that's good advice. You did that as a younger woman too?
my younger years. That's
Wow.
that my husband came into my life at the right time. Because if
Mm-hmm.
he came when I was in my early 20s, 23, 24, 25, he
Right.
I have liked the Allison because Allison would tell you quickly, you know, where to go and da 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 da.
Right.
But,
Right.
you know, I had to learn some things along the way in order for me to meet the king that God had.
Right. Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Well, you sure taught us a lot tonight because one thing for sure, you're letting us know we're not supposed to be too quick to go
No.
out there and
Mhm.
give all of ourselves.
Yes.
We're not supposed to internalize the pain. We're supposed to release it. We're
Yes.
supposed to have positive, affirmations throughout
Affirmation.
our homes, our dwelling,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that we can be reminded of who we are. We're God's
Yes.
children, and we
Yes.
should be grateful of that. And that should be our focus, not the negativity that's in our head. We should
Right.
release the negativity
Yes.
and take our time when we're meeting people. Meet in
Hmm.
public places. Don't go
Yes.
to dark rooms. Don't go to the date's brother's house and you don't even
Exactly.
know him yet, and you go into a meeting him at his brother's house.
Exactly.
Take your
Yes.
time, get to know these people, and don't trust. I would like to add, don't trust the words. Concentrate on the actions of these people.
Yes.
Don't go for, he said he loved me. He doesn't even know you. But they're
Hmm.
so focused on the fact that he says, I've fallen in love with you already. Till
Hmm.
they're not even factoring in, does he even know what love is? What
Yeah.
action has he shown me that he
Yes.
even knows what love is?
Hmm. Hmm.
So dating is really serious business if you're doing it correctly.
And
And
it's
we
a process.
Yes, it's a process. Doesn't happen
Yes.
overnight. So
No.
we're supposed to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we sent you all those questions. I sent them prematurely. I was going to send them afterwards for all those that got on tonight, but I
Yeah.
was so excited about them. They were inside that email. And I said, oh no, I sent them out. So you guys got them prematurely. Look at those questions because the, this will allow you to know more about those people that you're calling yourself
Yeah.
dating, and don't be so quick to take them home. Your home
Exactly.
is your dwelling. You should not
Hmm.
be bringing strangers in your home. They need to earn the right to go through
Yes.
that door. Do
Yes.
not share your bodies too soon. Men too. That's that's by now y'all should know better than that. It's
Yes.
not about how many you can hit. It
Mhm.
this time you might hit the wrong thing. You might
Yeah.
hit what is it when you might hit a strikeout. So be real careful about that. Be real
Yeah.
careful on both notes, men and women. Be real careful. So
Yes.
I hope this helped you all out with dating tonight. Allison, you want to add anything to this? Because John is going to move these on the YouTube, so later
Really?
more people will be looking at them. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, John. I'm just happy that John was able to get me back online and you were
Yes. I'm
able.
so happy we tried
Oh,
again. See, you never
yes.
give up. We
No,
showed
no.
tonight you got to have resilience. We both
Yes.
were disappointed and we both
Yes.
said, let's try it one more time. And we did it and we have accomplished the mission.
Yes.
Didn't have as many on tonight as we had earlier today, but we
Yes.
will definitely group them together. John knows how to do that. And I would
What?
like to keep you in the loop. And Allison, you want to share with them where you're preaching?
On this coming Sunday, August the 19th, I will be preaching at St. Charles Baptist Church at 4410 Georgia Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. It
Awesome.
starts at 10 a.m. So I am super, super happy, honored, and blessed because that is the church that I actually grew up in.
Oh,
So go
wow.
back. I mean, I was probably like 6 or 7 years
Oh
old,
my
you know. So
goodness.
it's I'm
That's
excited.
really big. You ought to be excited.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, if it wasn't for me getting everybody to come out to our rehearsals for our play, the Thanksgiving play, we would be there. So if I could figure out a way to be there and be at mine, I would do it. Because now we're really involved in church. Zach sings in the choir, and now I'm
Blessing.
directing the Thanksgiving play, so it's really exciting and got a lot of stuff going on. But I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of
Thank
what you're
you.
doing. And you're helping us date. You're helping us. Now, she got her man, y'all. So y'all need to listen to her. Shoot, listen to this woman now. This woman, this God fearing woman, beautiful woman at that.
Thank you so
She's
much.
written 31 books, you guys. So please look her up on AllisonDaniels.com, right?
Yes, Allison
Yes.
G. Daniels.
Allison G. Daniels, don't get it twisted. .com, and you'll be able to see all of her books there. And her latest book, you want to talk a little bit about your latest one?
The latest book, which is a best-selling book, is Walk in Your Authority, Unleash the Divine Power from Within. You have to be able to walk in your authority in order to take back your life and make a difference. You have to
Yes.
unleash whatever's going on in your life in order for you to push into your purpose. So,
Yes.
Walk in Your Authority has powerful tips, tools, and techniques to help you get to your next level.
Y'all hear that? And her other book, what's the other book that we featured on WBGR?
Oh, Life Goes On, How to Overcome Adversity.
Yes, How to Overcome Adversity. You guys, we got to get that book because that'll teach you how to move on beyond your pain. Like
Yes.
I'm Still a Rose. Get that one too. That will show you
Yes.
how to move beyond all your pain. Somebody told me I don't look like what I've been through.
Ah,
What am
she-
I supposed to look like? One eye up here, one eye down. What do people look like when they're in pain? I don't understand that one. Can you answer that one before we close out? How
I'm
are we
supposed
supposed
to
to
have our
look?
head down. You're supposed to have your head
Oh.
down. You know, your hair is not done. Your
Oh.
your clothes kind of sort of look like they're new, but they're not. But
Oh,
when you're walking with God and you know who He is, you
right.
don't have to hold your head down. You don't have to look like what you've been through.
Got it.
You don't look like what you've been through. I don't look like what I've been through, because we both made a choice, a decision.
Yes.
So what, we're going to walk this thing out. Whatever it is,
Absolutely.
we're going to walk it out. And so that's why
Yes.
we don't look like what we've been through.
So we walked it out.
Yes.
I like that.
Now look at us. Ha,
Yes,
ha. And
that's
look, my
right.
conference coming up October the 6th, Women
Uh-huh.
Empowered to Win. So you are
Oh,
empowered to win when you start walking in your authority.
yes. Now, what's going on in October?
October the 6th
Uh-huh.
in Clinton, Maryland, I will have my first women's conference, Women Empowered to Win. And that's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Oh, that's awesome. We have to put that out to make sure you put that on my page so that everybody will know about that and I can lock that in now so that we can be there. That's Zachary's birthday weekend. We may go out of town, but if we don't go out of town, because guess where he wants to go? He wants to go hear Joel Osteen.
Oh, what a
My
blessing.
child will be 13 years old, and that's what he wants to do. Yes. So I'm like, wow, okay, we're going to try to make that happen. But if we don't make it that weekend, we will be there and with you empowering women, okay?
Yes, yes,
I'm so grateful to know you and I'm so happy with all the things that you're doing and you're just something else and I'm just grateful. And I hope you all tonight got some dating ideas. Listen
yes.
to both segments. We had part one and part two. This is part two. And if you don't, you will get some information to help you date better after
Yes,
hearing both of these segments. I
yes,
love you. We are both still a rose. Thank
yes.
you for joining. I'll see you again soon because God's already told me we're going to do a lot of things together. So just be ready. We may even be going on a cruise together, right?
Oh, that's
Woo-hoo!
right. We
Yes,
have a
we got to
cruise
talk
next
about
year.
that too. And we have to start promoting that as well.
Oh, yes,
So,
that. Now,
yes.
I
So,
have one more thing. I am one of the speakers for Charles Carey's train. I forgot what it's called.
uh huh.
Training mastery class, and it's September the 1st and September the 2nd. But if you look up Charles Carey
Uh
on,
huh.
you'll see it. So I have something going on September and October.
Wow, you're going to be a busy woman. We'll put that out too so we can
Yes.
follow you and make sure everybody's in the loop and knows what's going on.
Yes.
Also, I'll be on WBGR tomorrow, Still a Rose, from 4 to 5 p.m. I'll have a guest, Hope Whitfield, who also talks about one bad marriage and now she's found her love, her true soulmate, and she talks about how he found God and it's just going to be awesome because
Yes.
she had to wait for it and then he's all in and they have adopted some kids. Just a great story. So I'm going to be talking to her tomorrow.
Okay.
um all righty, you guys. So happy to see you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Emmanuel, my spiritual brother, thank you for being here with us tonight. John, thank you for helping us get
Yes.
connected. Tracy, Walter, Cameron, Vincent, Letitia, Tyrone, Daryl, Jose. Oh, wow. We had a lot of people on tonight. Deborah, Wanda, Timothy, must be a cousin. Hello. Robert, Sherry Joe, my niece, my nephew, Justin, Angelica, Dornell, Emmanuel, my spiritual brother, Dwight, Claudette. Thank you all.
Yes.
Michelle, thank you.
Thank
Wayne,
you.
Danielle, thank you so much. Danny. This has been awesome. Candy's here. Gregory, Delmar, Monica, William, my cousin, Samson, Lakeithia, my son, Drew, Michelle, Spud, Maisha, Terrell. Oh, this has been awesome.
Yes.
Odessa, Vincent, Debbie, Cora, Don, James, Shay, Edward. Woo! Y'all done took me out of breath. Thank you so much, and Sean, all of you guys for joining us tonight. I'll see you again next Thursday. I'll let you know what the subject is by Monday. And I'll be seeing you, Allison, and talking to you about all these things we're about to do. So take care. Thank you for joining us. I'll
Thank
see you
you for
next
having me.
time. With love,
Yes, yes,
we are still a rose
yes.
in spite of it all.
Yes.
Thank you. Good
Have a good
night.
good night.